Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to this edition of The Closing Bell with me, Yatin Mota. We'll talk a lot of things about the markets on this Moneycontrol live broadcast. This week, there was a lot of skepticism in the market starting Monday, wherein we saw Nifty slip below that 19,000 mark. But yes, today and yesterday, with the kind of rally that we have seen on the benchmark indices, we managed to have full 1 percentage point gain on the Nifty as well as sensex. In fact, if you look at the real estate index, that index moved nearly 10% for the week. If you look at mid caps, PSU banks, infra stocks, metal stocks, all of them were performing well. This is about the week gone by, but if you look at today's market, we closed decisively above that 19,200 mark. If you look at the Nifty today, we gained nearly 100 points. We have seen that after the Federal Reserve comments on not hiking the interest rates, probably the market's nerves were soothed, and hence we saw some good traction in the overall global market setup. If you look at the sensex, that gained by nearly 300 points. Nifty bank, mid caps and small caps rallied anywhere between 0.5% to 1.5%. Advance decline ratio also for the markets today looked healthy, 2:1. So for every two stocks advancing, only one stock was declining. And if you look at the sectoral index today, all of them were gaining. And if you look at indexes like real estate, media, banking, all of them were gaining smartly. In fact, the real estate index gained by nearly 2.5% for the trade today. If you look at the Nifty 50 stocks, Apollo Hospitals, and we'll talk about the stock in detail, that moved of 5.5%. Adani Group stocks, especially Adani Ports, moved nearly 3%. Eicher Motors, LTI, Mindtree, and Titan were the other stocks which are doing well. Obviously, Titan post the results showed a rally of nearly 2.5%. What was weak was the Bajaj twins, especially Bajaj Finserv. That stock moved down 2.5%. Dr. Reddy's, SBI Life, and IndusInd Bank were the other stocks which were bleeding in trade. This was about the Nifty 50, and if you talk about the Nifty 500, we have stocks like Zomato zooming by nearly 10% after strong quarterly earnings, and they have not only turned profitable, they have turned profitable much ahead of street expectations, and hence we saw 10% up move coming in the stock for Zomato. Amber Enterprises, GM Finance, and Safari Industries were the other stocks which are gaining good traction in trade. On the losing side, we had Suven Pharma, that stock was on 4%. Chola Finance moved nearly 6.5% intraday because the management sounded cautious on the conference call, and hence we saw intraday dip on that particular stock. Obviously, if you look at the overall market this week, we had Honasa Consumers IPO, which is Mamaearth's IPO, getting subscribed by nearly 8 times, and there is good traction despite all the criticism around that particular IPO. And obviously, for tomorrow, we'll watch out for SBI's earnings. That is one of the largest PSU banks which will report their quarterly numbers. So we'll watch out for that one. Now, let's talk about the stocks which are on our focus list this afternoon, and starting with Dr. Reddy's and the healthcare sector like Apollo Hospitals. If you look at Apollo Hospitals, we have Morgan Stanley as well as Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Both of these companies and brokerages initiating coverage on this particular stock. And if you look at Apollo Hospitals, Morgan Stanley has initiated a buy call with a target of 6,101, and Bank of America Merrill Lynch has a target of 6,000 rupees on the stock of Apollo Hospitals. Now, the key common point in both of these brokerages is the e-commerce healthcare segment, wherein both of them are expecting a break even by FY26. Obviously, this adds to a lot of valuation optionality for Apollo Hospitals, which has been focusing on this e-commerce piece as well as the healthcare business. Now, if you look at Morgan Stanley, they are expecting an 18% EBITDA CAGR over the next 3 financial years. Also, if you look at Apollo Healthco, that is expected to break even by the 4th quarter of FY24, which means that in the next 6 months, the Healthco will probably break even. If you look at the Bank of America Merrill Lynch report, they have been saying in their report that all-in-one healthcare play is something that they are looking for Apollo Hospitals, because not only does it provides the brick and mortar model of the pharmacy business, but also the healthcare hospital business. And off late, as I was mentioning, be it pharma stocks like Dr. Reddy's or Lupin, or diagnostic stocks like Dr. Lal Path Labs, and hospital stocks, they have been doing well in the past 2-3 weeks. So obviously there is a lot of investor spotlight as far as the entire healthcare sector is concerned. And today, post these reports, the shares of Apollo Hospitals rallied by nearly 5.5%. So that was about Apollo Hospitals, which was gaining smartly in trade, top Nifty gainer. But also what was also doing well is the like of Tata Motors. Now we have Morgan Stanley, which is bullish on the counter with a target of 711, which means the target is more than 700 rupees per piece. And if you look at the performance for Jaguar Land Rover, which is the main business of Tata Motors, they have been exceptionally doing well in terms of order booking, deliveries and margin expansion. In fact, JLR increased their EBIT margin guidance from 6% to 8% moving ahead, which probably boosted the investor confidence. Stock was up nearly 4.5% in the opening trade, but cooled off. At the end of the day, it was still up nearly 2.5%. If you look at the global luxury market, obviously JLR is a market leader here, and we have seen the overall demand picture for luxury cars, being quite strong in FY24. Obviously, there were various headwinds in terms of supply chain issues and chip availability. But now that the availability is improving, JLR expect that the volume growth will pick up, and not only that, the free cash flow position also for Tata Motors will improve. So all these points are because of which the stock of Tata Motors has been performing well in the past few trading sessions. So we'll watch out for that, and as I was mentioning, tomorrow SBI earnings are there, and we'll watch out for that. For all your business news updates and the kind of earning analysis we do, stay tuned to moneycontrol.com.